Welcome to the Referrals Podcast, the show designed to help everyone from the solopreneur to the Fortune 500 company win the referral game. If you want to build a company with an army of ambassadors and raving fans who speak highly of you and refer you willingly, you are in the right place. And now, here is your host, Michael J. Maher.
Welcome, everyone. I appreciate you being here for the Jam session. Jam is for Just Ask Michael, and this is a very much a Q&A session, and we'll do question and answer, and we'll make sure that we get as many of your questions answered as possible. You can put the questions in the chat box, and one of our top coaches, Tommy Sandvik, will be helping me with that towards the 3/4 of the way through. This has been scheduled for an hour, but there's no way that we've ever done a jam session in an hour. So if you have plans for 90 minutes from now, just call that person and just tell them that you're going to be late right now. Just do it. So this will be a 90-minute call. It will. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be for you. Could be a 9-minute call for you. Maybe you're already tired of seeing my face. I'm good. I love you. Disclaimer. What I'm going to be sharing today and what I'm going to be going over is 100% my thoughts, my insights, sometimes even my words. This is not AI enhanced in any way. This is me. I am not an avatar or a caricature of myself right now. I'm speaking from my own brain and through my own heart. Also, when I'm speaking, I do not represent any company in what I'm talking about. When I use Keller Williams Family Reunion, I'm using it as a suggestion of an event that I might have gone to recently. And I do not represent Keller Williams in any light during this conversation. I only speak for myself and ReferCo. Also, I am not a motivational speaker. If you were looking for motivation, then I can tell you right now that you may be disappointed by the end of this. I tend to take those who are already driven and motivated, and I help them with the path. That's essentially what I do. If you need to be told that you're enough and you need to be told that you're awesome, that may come out too, but it's unintentional. Also, I am not funny. I have no sense of humor. I'm very serious. What I say will be very much to the point. It may be blunt. You may not like me. And that's okay. I'm okay with it as long as you're okay with it. If you met me in person, you probably wouldn't like me either. Also, what else? I don't need to do the AI disclosure. When we talk about communicating with your database or talking to your sphere, please make sure you are doing it in a TCPA compliant way, and also check your do not call list. The cool thing about my entire system is there is no reason to even be familiar with TCPA or DNC because we're only calling friends and people that we've been referred to, introduced to, or connected to. So you should be fine. Everybody good? That was fun, right? No. Okay. All right. So here's I'm just going to go. Are you guys okay if I just go? I'm going to go, and I do have slides that I'm going to show because I feel the necessity to do that. All right. I'm going to tell you something that may seem self-serving, but it's really self-serving. Is everybody good with that? All right. The first thing I want you to know is I felt like I was at a generosity generation event at the Keller Williams Family Reunion. So in 7L, I wrote about the evolution. This was written in 2008, 2009, and released in 2010 and 11. 7L was. It's that book right there in case you're not familiar. So in it, I talk about the evolution from the ego era to the generosity generation. And when we evolve from the ego era to the generosity generation, we are going to put something behind us. The ego era, now, if you weren't in business in 2006, just shut up and listen. I'm just telling you, right? So what happened in business until about 2010 was it was about being the biggest, the baddest, the best, number one. And actually in Kansas City, at one time, there were 6,580 number one agents, which is amazing. And guess how many agents were in the top 10%? 100% of the agents in Kansas City were part of the top 10% in Kansas. Isn't that awesome? And everybody was number one. And here's the thing, it was about putting your name out there more, about doing more ads, about putting your face out there. And it was about the ego era, and everything was about how great the agent was. And what's funny is the face of the ego era claimed bankruptcy in 2006, which is kind of interesting. Well, the ego era was also a ground for the closers, right? It was the hardcore closing era, and it was about hard pitch sales. And the mantra at the time was ABC. Which, you guys know what I'm talking about? Glenn Gary, Glenn Ross. Remember him pounding the chalkboard and going A, always, B, C, closing. Always be closing. And there was a guy at the back who was getting ready to what? Right? He was getting ready to pour his coffee, and the guy goes, "Put the coffee down. Coffee is for closers. ABC, always be closing." And the whole thing at that point was, the mantra was, I am number one, we're number one, and so on and so forth. Well, the evolution that has taken place, and it is in full swing, is we are now in the generosity generation. You saw Sheena on stage. You saw Christine on stage. You saw me on stage. You saw Floor on stage. You saw all these people on stage talking about generosity, leading with generosity, and why generosity feeds a better business. And the generosity generation is different than the ego. We are in it. And the people who led it were not realtors. It was not me. The people who have led this evolution from the ego era to the generosity generation are the consumers. The consumers are responding better to generosity than they are to a hard attack sales pitch, right? It used to be hunt me down and sell me, hunt me, sell me. And now it's hear me, help me. The consumer is saying, hear me, help me. You might want to write that down. Hear me, help me. Like, that could be your mantra. You want to pick a word of the year? Pick hear me, help me. I know it's 4 words, but we can scrunch it together, make it look like 1 word. Hear me, help me. The new ABC in town is not always be closing. It's always be connecting. Always be connecting. And there are 3 facets of connecting. One facet is connect with ourselves. Connect with ourselves. We need to connect with ourselves, which, I mean, how many of you saw that with Jay Shetty he literally sat there and talked to you about mindfulness and really getting to know yourself, and habits, rituals, time management, and this reflection time, and the power of silence. And I encourage you to join the March Magic Challenge we're doing. One of the biggest arms that I do during March Magic is something called self mastery, and really helping you with this mindfulness approach and the habits, time management, and the rituals that you need to succeed. A third of it is self mastery. And it's marchmagicchallenge.com if you're interested. Now, here's the thing is, now always be connecting. It also applies to one-to-one conversations. And the greatest way to connect with others in one-to-one is questions. And look at what everybody was talking about family reunion, about instead of leading with selling, presentation skills, closing skills, scripts and dialogue. You can't even say the word scripts and dialogues anymore. It was all about the questions you ask. And I'm going to give you a couple of good questions. Number 1 is, how do I make this the biggest win for you? If you're not asking everybody you meet, how do I make this meeting the biggest win for you? How do I make this move the biggest win for you? Seller, how do I make this sell the biggest win for you? That should be your lead off question at all of your appointments, and it helps you instantly reframe and connect to the most important thing in the conversation. So, and listen, that doesn't just work for listing appointments and buyer consultations, but it also works for networking meetings. It works for conversations that you have, and so on and so forth. So, also, The third element of this, right? And that's kind of the relationship mastery arm, is this one-to-one. How good are you in phone calls? How good are you with handwritten notes? How good are you with a buyer consultation or a listing presentation? Or how good are you just in our typical conversations that we have? And that's the second arm of referral mastery, is relationship mastery. So we've got self-mastery, relationship mastery. And then, I mean, what is the hottest trend in real estate lead generation right now? It's events. It's events. It's events. In 2000, nobody was doing any events. Nobody was doing even Christmas events. I mean, you guys thinking about Pi Days? There was like one agent in America doing Pi Days in 2000. One agent, right? Leslie McDowell in Chicago. So it's one of those where, all right, events have gone from this little thing you did in November, December to celebrate the year. You spent $10,000 and you got nothing back. To now, what we have, and you want to talk about always be connecting at events. Well, not only are you connecting with your people, you're connecting with your community and you're connecting other people. And the power of events can be kind of summed up in like plus like equals two loves. Like plus like equals two loves. The power of events is someone who likes you meets someone who likes you. And when they meet, they talk about you. But when they're done, when they leave the conversation, they are empowered and honestly encouraged to speak highly of you and refer you more often because of something called social proof. The only way to kick in social proof is with events. So event mastery is this third pillar of the referral mastery system. You've got self-mastery, relationship mastery, and event mastery. And if you'd like a little taste of that, sign up for the March Magic Challenge at marchmagicchallenge.com. It's only $19. So don't be sitting here thinking that I'm going to make $1 million today, right? But I want you in it. I want you to take the 30-day challenge. It's a friendly video for me each morning, about 5 minutes. I give you an action item, you implement it. So I'm going to give you an action item right now. Some of you've already done it, but I have to tell you, more of you need to do it. Donna Ardolph has done it, and Tara Wilkes has done it, and it looks like Kristen Taranese has done a part of it. Tim Lamb, I can't freaking believe he didn't do it. But here's the thing. If you are ever on a Zoom, you need to put your name, your location, and your URL, or your name and your URL if your URL has your location in it. If you don't have a URL with your location in it, what the heck are you doing? But here's the thing. Change it to your name, what you do, and your location. Like Brian Moses is one of the top coaches on the entire planet. He should have Brian Moses, brianmoses.com, coach, or Coach Brian Moses, coachbrianmoses.com. If he doesn't have it, I'm going to go reserve it after the end of this show. So here's the thing, is make sure that you are changing your name every single Zoom you are on, especially with me, because you know what we are, a referral community. The only way for me to refer you is to know where the heck you are, what you do, and how to get a hold of you. Would you agree? Everybody good? I just gave you a referral tip and you're like, well, that'll never give me a referral. And guess what? We had somebody get a referral this week because they changed their name on their Zoom, and somebody said, I need somebody there. And it ended up, we connected somebody to Charleston, South Carolina. And Ernest, it wasn't you. I'm sorry. It just happened in another Zoom. But next time, it's yours, brother. Appreciate you. All right. Everybody good? Everybody good? All right. Always be connecting. Listen, I mean, yeah. All right. We're just going to go dive into this puppy. I have a lot to say today. A lot to say. All good. All good. You know what? I actually am going to say one overarching thing. You guys know Family Reunion, Mega Camp are open to any agent. Doesn't matter what company you're with. Everybody should know that. Okay. The second thing is I have been to 3 or 4 conferences since 1998. The best conferences ever were the Star Power conferences. I'm going to tell you, I went to R4, I went to CB4, I went to CBRE, I went to and I've been to conferences that are not real estate related. I went to event conferences for event managers. Those guys know how to party. I went to financial advisors. They don't have a clue. Attorney, I've been to a lot of attorney conferences. I always want to die. Literally, the second day in, it's the worst. Those guys do not know how to party. So bottom line, I've been to all. This family reunion was the best conference I've been to in 10 years. There were 13,000 Keller Williams agents running around Atlanta. But here's the thing that I got from Atlanta and this conference that, like the last two have been in Las Vegas. When people went to the family reunion in Atlanta, they went for the conference. They went to learn. What I was around this, and I know I'm yelling. I swear to God, I'm sorry. I don't mean to yell at you, but I'm excited about this stuff. I am excited by learners and growers and implementers. I was surrounded by people who wanted to go to the sessions. In Vegas, I would walk out of the session and there were more people in the halls and at the slot machines than there were in the sessions. This event was all about learning and growth and the sessions. It was beautiful to be a part of. And I just kind of wanted to say that as an overarching statement from just how awesome the people were at this conference. It was like they took all the growers and we put them all in the same room. All right. So here's something that Gary said right off the bat that I needed to hear. Maybe you needed to hear. But it's when in doubt, zoom out. Like you may want to just take a screenshot or just embrace that type of thing. And this is what conferences do really well, is when you go out of town for a conference, what it forces you to do is it forces you to look upon your business as a way that, you get this larger perspective. It allows you to kind of take a helicopter ride over your business. So I'm going to encourage all of you to do something that we do, and that is you need to do an advance. If you want to call it a retreat, you can call it a retreat. But I don't believe in retreating. I believe in advancing. So you need at least a 3-hour retreat. I'm going to say a 3-day retreat would be better, but it needs to be between 3 hours and 3 days. And you are going to go away from your bit. Now, this can mean a hotel in your city. And that's how 7L was actually written. That's how I'm writing the current book that's coming out this year. It's one of those where you need to do an advance. Give yourself some time away. It's great to do that with conferences, but when in doubt, zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out. When you need some clarity, when you need to reflect, when you need to just get away, right? And here's the other thing that an advance does for you. An advance also gives you this fresh sense of clarity around what to do next so you don't burn out as often. I know there's a lot of people, especially in the real estate industry, who feel like they're burnt out because you know what? Right now, it's hard. I'm not going to pretend to tell you that it's not hard. And it's hard. And just so you know, it was hard in 22. It was hard in 13. It was really hard in 2009. I'm not even going to go there, right? There's a part of my brain that wants to forget that black cloud. But 2006 was hard. It's always going to be hard. That's why we get paid so well. It's going to be hard. So the cool thing is we get to pick our heart. We get to pick what hard we're going to do. That's why we pick events. That's why we pick referrals. That's why we pick our sphere, is because it's the easiest kind of hard. But it is hard. And the thing about it is we do need to get away from being in the trenches because it's going to be good for your central nervous system. You've got to get away just to let that freaking part of you relax a little bit, because otherwise we are in a warlike mode. Now, I'm not going to belittle any of the military, and for those of you who serve, thank you. But it is like we are in a more tense approach on a daily basis, and getting away allows us to take a fresher approach and not burn out as often. So I love that quote, and that's from Gary Keller, and it's from Jay Papasan, and this is the first time in my life I've ever had the opportunity to actually quote Jay Papasan, who I love. And so I'm giving him credit for this one. When in doubt, zoom out. A larger perspective often creates clarity. So I love that. All right. Stop. Okay. All right. So here we go. So now that does say the F word in it. And I told my person who put this together to make sure we use asterisks. But here's the thing, right? So Gary Keller set Keller Williams on fire. You got to realize that with the Keller Williams culture, the first word is God, right? It's Christianity. And it has been the cleanest conference in the history of conferences. And so they hired Gary Vaynerchuk. That makes sense, right? So Gary came in and woke up a part of the audience and a part of Keller Williams. And I'm telling you, I do not say this as a Keller Williams representative. I'm going to say this as a Michael Maher representative and a Referral representative. Is it woke up a part of Keller Williams that needed to freaking be woken up. It hit a part of the brain. Now, listen, you guys know me. When I speak, I do not cuss from stage. I very rarely cuss at all. Do I cuss? The answer is yes. I have a 17-year-old son, so I've learned some words in the last 5 or 6 years I didn't even know existed. But the thing about it is, he basically said what I'd like to say a lot of times, which is basically just quit venting, quit complaining, and go sell some houses. In the minute or two that you spent complaining on Facebook about another human being or about something else or about the news media or about, you could be selling a house. What if you just focused all your energies during 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. on selling houses? What would happen? What would happen for the good? What would happen for your business? And there is so much to that. A lot of you know that I'm coming out with a book, and on Wednesdays I write. On Wednesdays, what I do is I write. I don't check Facebook. I don't get on Zoom calls. I don't talk to Sherry or Mandy much. I have to say that they are still learning about my boundaries and barriers, and that's a conversation for later today. But the bottom line is on Wednesdays, all I do is write. The first hour of writing, I'm the worst writer in the history of the world. Now, after an hour, something amazing happens. Is that a part of my brain clicks in, I get into the zone, and I can literally 3 hours feels like 30 minutes. And that's where we need to get with our business is we need to focus 100% of the time. Time block it out, figure out what you need to be spending your time on, and just do that. And I guarantee that 100% of you need to spend more time on lead generation and better time on lead generation. And I'm also going to tell you that maybe the solution is an event. Maybe the solution is an event. And I'll take you through it week by week next month, starting March 10th, and you can do your event in April, and I'll hold your hand, coach you, consult you, help you, push you, and help you do an event the fourth week of April or the first week of May, whenever you want to do it. If you want to do a Cinco de Mayo, we can help you. If you want to do a Arbor Day event and do plants and flowers, we can do it. But the bottom line is we all need to be doing a Spring Fest. You need to be doing an event called Spring Fest or I Love You Latte or whatever, Thanks a Latte or something. So anyway, you need to be spending more time on lead generation. And that's the truth. That's the truth. So let's do it, right? And I'm going to share the slide. I'm not going to read it, but you can see it. Okay. So he literally said this from stage, and that was literally what he said. All right. So another person said, respectfully, you're not my audience. And all this really means is one great example of this is that I'm not your audience. People ask me all the time, or what kind of event? How many of you would like to know what kind of event to do to get the most amount of referrals? Would you? Like, how many of you would like to? So you're asking the wrong person. I'm the wrong person. The person to ask what the best event is are the people that you would be inviting to that event. So don't ask me what is the best event. Ask your people what is an event that you're most interested in? And I'm going to give you the first question. The first question is coffee, beer, or wine. That is the first question. Coffee, beer, or wine. I'm thinking about doing an event. I always love your opinions and I always appreciate your opinions. Would you mind helping me with this event? And they're like, absolutely. Coffee, beer, or wine. I'm thinking about maybe doing either coffee in the afternoon, beer in the afternoon, like a happy hour, or wine in the afternoon. Which of those three are you most likely to choose in an afternoon setting? And they're going to tell you coffee, beer, or wine. By the way, here's what I want you to do in the chat window. You tell me coffee, 4 to 6 p.m., somewhere in that afternoon, pick me up. Beer, happy hour, like 4 to 6, 5 to 7, 6 to 8. Or are you the wine person that wants to do a wine like 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, right? So tell me in the chat window which you are. So wine is up 8 or 9. Oh, look at that. Like wine is up and cocktails, right? So you're like, oh, you didn't say anything about bourbon or you didn't say, and it's like, okay, did I learn another lesson there? Right? So coffee, beer, or wine. Everybody good? So if you called 10 people and 9 of them said that you should do something with wine, guess what? You're going to do a wine tasting in the back of ABC Liquor or in the back of um, what is the other what is that big liquor chain? The other one, I can't remember what it is off the top of my head.
Total Wine.
Total Wine,
Total
that's
Wine.
right. Yeah, Total Wine. Restaurants have wine tastings and so on and so forth. It looks like we have a wine crowd. So stop your whining and go sell a house. I'm telling you. Then you can have more wine. Oh, wait. So here's the thing. And so that's kind of what this is that, respectfully, you're not my audience. I think the big thing here is that make sure that you understand who your audience is. Also, we're realtors. So what's interesting about our friends on Facebook? There are also a lot of realtors in the area that are our friends in real. I mean, it just know that when they comment or have something to say, it really doesn't matter. It's probably coming from jealousy or envy, and we can just keep moving forward and making things happen. Right? All right, I'm going to keep flying through these. I know I'm going fast, but it's all good. All right. All right. I warned you, right? And I told you AI will replace you if you use AI to replace you. AI will replace you if you use AI to replace you. Now, once again, this is my opinion, but I'm seeing it and I'm feeling it. When I see a post or a comment on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter that I can tell, and if I can tell, anybody can tell that it is AI generated, I tune out. I am disappointed. I am less than thrilled. The truth is, people want your voice. They want your voice. So it's one of those where don't let AI replace you when it comes to your voice. I love what Chip Collins told me is don't look at AI as AI. Look at AI as IA. IA is intelligent assistant. Look at AI as an intelligent assistant. It's going to assist you, but not replace you. And listen, there is so much. I don't know if you guys saw the stuff on Alex Hormozy, but somebody, another influencer, basically tried to contact him, and they got an AI bot as in a conversation, and it started saying things that Alex Hormozy would never agree to or say, but then this influencer went to Alex Hormozy and said, hey, listen, looks like you're doing this for me at this time because you agreed to it. And it turned into a big giant battle. And essentially the influencer had tricked the bot into like having Hormozy commit to a bunch of stuff. But it was one of those where it's like, listen, just be you. Like, especially when it comes to videos, when it comes to your Facebook, when it comes to I like you. I want to hear from you. And if I see an M dash or I see the word fluff or intentional, I probably know it's AI. And unfortunately, that's the way it goes. Now, are there places for the first thing I would say, if you ever use AI, say enhanced by AI. Where can you use it? Maybe you use it with your market reports. Maybe you use it with your e-newsletters. In that case, put an asterisk and put at the bottom, this was enhanced by AI. And that's it, right? Just so they know it. Now, here's the thing. I got a letter from the heart from an agent. I'm not going to say who it was. A letter from the heart, people. And I got it. And like it was plain as day that this was not her writing. This was not her writing it. It was literally a letter from the heart from AI. Like, like if it's really a letter from the heart, who should that be from? Like, who should write that? We should write that. I should write that. The only way that AI will ever replace you is if you let AI replace you. So there you go. AI is a great, intelligent assistant. It really is. Use it that way. All right. What got you where you are won't get you to where you want to be. This is Jay Shetty. I absolutely loved Jay Shetty. I've always felt like he was a little bit woo woo for me, but I enjoyed what he said, and I enjoyed. If you're not using the magic question from 7L to establish another person's disc, you're missing out. You're missing out. If you get one thing from this jam session, it needs to be that you need to incorporate the magic question on every intake form in every conversation, and you need to understand the DISC better than any other agent in your area. If you understand the disc better than anybody else in the area, you will win the communication game, which leads to the conversation game, which leads to the referral game. You will win the referral game by communicating with others in the way they want to be communicated, not the way you want to be communicated. I also understand I'm communicating with you right now in a high D mode. I get it. And hopefully you're okay. That's kind of how this presentation has to be. But it's one of those where, and if you're not familiar with the magic question, I'll just ask it. How about that? You guys want to hear it? All right. Out of the following four options, you can only choose one. I'm going to ask you a kind of a weird question. Out of the following four options, you can only choose one. Out of the following four options, how would your spouse, significant other, or best friend best describe you? Would they describe you as a 1, straight to the point? Would they describe you as a 2, social and outgoing? Would they describe you as a 3, steady and dependable? Would they describe you as a 4, cautious and perfectly accurate? All right, in the chat window, are you a 1, straight to the point? Or are you a 2, social and outgoing? Or are you a 3, steady and dependable? Or are you a 4, cautious and perfectly accurate? Ladies and gentlemen, I just gave all of you a disc test and you all passed. If you're a 1, you're a D. If you're a 2, you're an I. If you're a 3, you're an S. If you're a 4, what the heck are you doing on this Zoom? God bless you. All right. So here now, great follow-up question for the magic question for on your phone calls, for on your intake forms when you're talking to people is, what's your secondary? Like if your 1 is your primary, what do you think your secondary is? Is it social and outgoing, steady and dependable, or cautious and perfectly accurate? Have them name their 1 and 2. And then just to get totally clear, you can say, which is the one that is totally not you? Which is the one you would pick last? And they will say whatever it is. Now you literally know all you need to know. Now you learn, and hopefully you learn this from us in the Referral Mastery Academy, or you learn this from March Magic Challenge, is you're going to learn how to speak to each of those different groups. If you're a 1, raise your hand real quick. Raise your hand, put number 1 and down, go down. All right. And listen, the rest of this session is going to be super, super fast. I'm not going to waste any of your time. We're going to go really fast. And bottom line is this is going to help you, and you're going to like a 3-hour presentation in about 20 minutes. Are you guys okay? That 1s, you okay? All right. 2s, put your 2 up like this, go like this, go swirl it and go, woohoo. Yeah. And realize that you're the only ones in this Zoom that would actually do that. I'm just saying, right? But here's the thing, 2s. I want you to know I'm going to go pretty quickly too, but we're going to have fun doing it. We're going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to show you how to have even more fun in real estate and in sales than you've probably ever dreamed possible. Plus, I'm going to make you the most famous person in your community. Are you okay with that? Good stuff. 3s, who are my 3s? 3s, right? 3s, God bless you. Welcome to the family. I love you. In fact, I love you so much. I married one of you, and that frustration will never end. But it's another story for another day. But 3s, I want you to know that what I'm going to show you here today and the rest of the day, and also later on in Referral Mastery Academy, maybe the March Magic Challenge, is I'm going to show you how to get paid. Would that be good? Because a lot of you 3s are unpaid tourist guides of your current city. And I get it. And it's okay. Like you are, but I'm going to show you, what if they asked you if it's time to write the contract? What if the other person, like, bottom line is I'm going to show you a no conflict way to do great sales and have a lot of fun where everybody's happy, and you also get paid. So 3s, I love you. 4s, any 4s in the room? 4s, nope, great, thanks. I don't have anything for you. Good stuff. All right, I'm just kidding. It's a system. We have systems of systems, and I'm sure you'd love that. All right. Next, speaking of what got you here won't get you. Here's the thing. I'm going to tell you the biggest mover, and this came from all the different sessions and breakouts. The biggest mover for you over the next 10 days will be adding a system. Adding a system. Now, when I say adding a system, I'm not saying you need to add anything. I'm saying you need to systematize one thing within your business. The question goes back to Gary's one thing. All right. What is the one thing such that by doing it, everything else becomes easier and or unnecessary? So the thing is all right, that one thing is a system. So what is that one system? What is that one system such that by doing it, everything else will become easier and or unnecessary? Is it a new contact system? Is it the pro-launch ritual? Do you need to revisit your transaction coordination checklist? Do you need to look at your buyer follow-up? Do you need to look at your sphere follow-up? What is the system? What is that one system? And here's another thing that you can consider with the system. If you were going to hire somebody to do something in your business, what would you hire them to do today? What is the one thing you hate to do the most? And here's the thing, don't hire until you have the system. So create the system, create the checklist, and then hire an 8th grader who can come in and mark off a checklist. Everything follows systems. What got you here won't get you there. And also, this is going to be a controversial take. I'm about to say something that is anti everything else right now. Everybody's talking about consistency. Listen, I'm going to be forthright with you. You are consistent. You've been consistent. The thing is what your consistency has got you is what you have. So if you remain consistent, you're going to continue getting what you are getting. And if that's okay with you, stay consistent. But the truth is, most of you want to grow. And if you're going to grow, you have to add a dose of intensity to go with your consistency. We've got to add some intensity. And that's what I was talking about, maybe getting away for 3 hours or 3 days. One of the best things, and honestly, for a lot of people, Keller Williams Family Reunion was the intensity that they needed. It was going to a conference like that has nothing to do with consistency. It has everything to do with intensity. We are going to spend 5 intense days on our business with people who are succeeding at the highest levels around the world. That's intensity, people. We just experienced intensity. So where are you going to take that intensity and take yourself to the next level? So what got you here isn't going to get you there to that next level. You need a dose of intensity to go with your consistency. We are all consistent. I am heavy. I am overweight right now because of my consistency. Do I want to remain overweight? The answer is no. Do I need to change something? Okay. So do I need to change my consistency? I mean, no, right? I need to change what I'm doing. I need to change what I'm doing and I need to create new habits. Well, the only way to do that is to add something, is to get better at something. So I guess the only consistent thing I would endorse is consistent growth and consistent improvement. All right, standards without consequences are just suggestions. So this is the big one that Gary Keller talked about, and standards without consequences are just suggestions. So what are your and here's the thing, what you tolerate is what you get, and that's the truth. So what are your standards? And there's a lot of different ways that you can talk about this. One way is your sphere. Will you let anyone into your sphere? And I'm going to tell you something. The answer to that should be no. Your sphere should be this amazing, limited availability, special place like Disney. Think of your sphere like Disney World, right? You're not going to let just everybody in. It's going to have exclusivity. It's going to have scarcity. It's going to have specialness. It's going to have like this sphere, like your sphere. Here's the thing. If you wouldn't go pick them up at 4 a.m. because they'd been drinking too much, they don't belong in your sphere. Everybody got it? Now, a sphere is different than a database. Your internet leads can go in your database. Your people that you've met wherever can go in your database. But your sphere it's a sphere for a reason. It's got a boundary. What are your boundaries to your sphere? What are your standards? That goes to your clients as well. I have to just let you know that, like, we are not listing houses right now. We are listing sellers. If a seller is an a-hole, do not take on the seller. Do not. If they are belligerent about getting their price and you know that price is 50,000 or 60,000 too high, you're not taking it. You can't want the outcome enough to like belittle yourself or lower your standards. Like, what are your standards? Now, I will tell you, at times in your business, your standards might be like, basically, I will work with anyone. But the other side of that is the difference between top producers and average producers or low producers. Average producers will work with anyone. Top producers have standards. They literally will not work with anyone unless they have a need for real estate services in a quick time period, 30 to 60 days. They weed out the looky-loos. Are you weeding out the looky-loos? Threes. Are you hearing me? Do not drive people to a house unless they have a pre-approval. Your standard is I will not show until you have the ticket. The ticket to the show is a pre-approval letter. Standard. That is your standard. That might have saved a life of a real estate agent in Texas. I'm just saying. Here we go. You want this is the Gen mantra of the Keller Williams Family Reunion. I used to be obsessed with making an impression. Ego era. Now I'm obsessed with making a difference. Obsessed with it. Now, I don't know if it was Sheena or Christina or Floor or who said that, but that is the world today. And listen, you're all beautiful people. You should be doing video. You should be doing videos. And don't just, and I'm not sure if it was Gary Vee that said it or somebody in the session, but they said it is no longer social media. It is interest media. Interest media. Look at it as interest media. So you're going to share your interest. Now, Gary Vee doesn't share about his personal stuff. He doesn't share about his relationships. He doesn't share about his kids. He doesn't share about the personal stuff. He shares about his interests, about the Jets, about marketing, about books he's reading. He shares his interests. So, what are your interests? Like, and here's what's really amazing. I just saw a guy do this, Andy Peters from Savannah. He shared that he freaking collects sports cards and sports memorabilia. And ladies and gentlemen, I have known him for at least 15 years, and I had no clue that he and I shared this love for sports cards and sports memorabilia. We always talked about real estate at real estate conferences. I loved learning that about him. What are your interests? Share them. What book are you, Kristen Torrance or Tarones? What are you reading right now? Are you reading a book? Extra credit if you say 7L.
I
I'm just
am.
kidding. Go ahead.
I am. No, I've already read that one multiple times, but I actually brought this home and put it right into action and started reading it. I'm right there. You can see where I'm at.
I love it. Story Brand 2.0 was a gift from Donald Miller. I think I've got a Donald Miller quote in here about being the guide on the side instead of the hero. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to, I mean, here's the thing. Everybody write down 7 steps to a successful success story. Everybody write that down. What are the 7 steps to a successful success story? In 7L, I literally give you the 7 steps to a successful success story, which is the story brand 2.0, story selling, storytelling, and like all of those kind of are rooted from this 7-step process to writing a success story. And please notice when you go through the 7 steps to a successful success story, the first step is who is the client and the category. Who is the client? So let's say it's Jay and Nicole, and they are first-time homebuyers. Step number 2 is what is the nuclear case scenario? What's the worst case scenario? What are their biggest fears? So what is the worst case scenario for a first-time homebuyer? Right? So you write it down. They could get into a money pit and ruin their financial investment. Step 3 is what did you do or say to help them avoid the worst case scenario? What did you do or say? Notice this is positioning you as the guide and them as the hero, right? And you're like, I sat down, I did a buyer's consultation, I showed them 3 or 4 homes without allowing them to make an offer, right? I educated them on homes and investments. And then step 4 is, all right, so what were the results? What happened? What happened? They bought this great investment, this great home, and so on and so forth. Step 5 is what did they do or say after you solved their problem? What did they do or say? The best thing they could do is they referred you. You could just say, hey, Jay and Nicole referred me to another person in their apartment complex to help them buy a home. Or this is a great place for a what? Testimonial. They said this was such an amazing experience, they can't even believe it, and so on and so forth. Step 6 is ask for relevant referrals. So relevant and specific referrals. So who are we asking for? We're asking for first-time homebuyers. So you could say, out of all the people you know, who is a person who might be living with their parents, renting, or just got done with college who might be looking for their first home? Step 7 is call to action. While you're thinking of that person, please reach out to me. You can either text me at this number or reply to this email or click on the QR code that's on this postcard. Whatever your call to action is, 7 steps to a successful success story. We have taken what is maybe what we just think once about and never think again, and we have turned it into the Swiss Army knife of marketing that is going to feed our business forever. And by the way, I just did that from memory. And I haven't talked about the 7 steps to a successful success story in like 10 years. So I just want to say, great job, Michael. You don't even have to be here for this compliment, but I just want you to know I'm really proud of myself in that moment. So thanks. Oh, good stuff. All right. So we're going to keep going. Magic question, 7 steps to a successful success story. All right. This I am tired of. Yes, pun intended. Exhaustion does not equal commitment. There was a gal who was on stage bragging about listening to her agent's phone calls with leads at 2 a.m. in the morning. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not commitment. That is sickness. That is sickness. Now, I'm going to go two sides on this exhaustion does not equate to commitment thing. The first thing, some of you need a little freaking exhaustion in your life. Some of you need it. Some of you need to get up and go to freaking work. Like you're the best scroller, swiper in the history of social media, but you're not getting stuff done. You're not providing for your family. And you know what? You've got a sickness. And I can tell you right now, phone can develop sickness. Phone usage can develop sickness. And we've got to fight it. We've got to fight it. And some of us need a little bit of like, go to do some hard work. Now, the flip side is if you're wearing as a badge of honor that you're available 24/7 and they can call you anytime, they can contact you anytime, and you're doing stuff at midnight, 1 a.m. to instead of spending time with your kids, working out, sleeping. I don't think the general public understands that the ultimate performance enhancing drug is not GLP-1 or testosterone or estrogen. The best performance enhancing drug is sleep. For your mental health, for your muscles, for your nervous system, for your rehabilitation, it is sleep is the ultimate performance enhancing drug. Sleep. Get some sleep. Exhaustion does not equal commitment. I'm not freaking impressed by your 2 a.m. work ethic. I'm not. Okay. But I also want to flip it to if you're comfortable all the time, then you got to wake up. You got to wake up. You got to go do something. You know what? Some of you haven't been exhausted for 2 years. You might be sick and tired of being sick and tired. And maybe this is the wake up call you needed is like, but what if you did exhaust yourself on creating that system that will allow you to hire that person that allows you to do more, be more, and have more? All right. Fast is slow, but slow is smooth. And what we need to realize is smooth is fast. So smooth is fast. And all this is talking about is, listen, I can take the best baseball player in the world and I can make them subpar. All I got to do is hurry them and not allow them to be ready. If you're hurried, you're not performing at your highest ability. If you try to hurry a relationship, if you try to rush a relationship, rushed people don't refer. Write it down. Rushed people don't refer. So the flip side of that is we're going to pour into them and we're going to build the relationship based on their interest, based on them, based on asking questions of them. And the thing about it is that when you actually think something is going to be slow, you do it smoother and you actually get done what needs to be done. What people find out all the time is if they slow down and they do the system, if they do the 7 steps to a successful success story, or they do the 7 steps to connecting with connectors, if they just slow down and they do it slowly and smoothly, they actually get all the results they wanted a lot faster. So where is a place that you need to put that into place in your life and in your business? All right. Discover what you are great at and do more of it. This is one of those where I truly believe that, if you haven't taken Strengths Finders, I encourage you to go look up Strengths Finders and Strengths Finders 2.0, take the assessment, find out what your strengths are, and you will find that you're going to figure out what you're great at. And the thing that you're probably great at, because most of you are entering middle age, or over middle age, is that you probably already know what you're great at, and you probably know what you're not great at. And you may have to spend some time in the what you're not great at to document what you're not great at. So everybody write that down. Document what I'm not great at. Document what you're not great at. So if you're not, and this is easy, I'm not great at paperwork. Ladies and gentlemen, paperwork is toxic to Michael Maher. If there's paperwork to be done, it's not going to be done by me. That's the truth. How many of you have seen Pawn Stars? Not porn stars. Don't tell me that. Pawn Stars. It's a show, Heron. I'm just kidding. But here's the thing. It's a show, Pawn Stars. You've seen Pawn Stars. What does Rick do? Rick does the negotiations. He's the one that talks. He might bring in an expert. There's a lesson right there. The who is not you. But he brings in an expert. They negotiate. They either buy it or they don't. Do you notice that Rick is not tied to the outcome? Everybody go. If he buys it, he buys it. If he doesn't, it's okay. They part ways, hopefully friendly. Then they negotiate it out. They come up with a price. And what happens next? He says what? Go do the paperwork, chum. Go do the, right? So Chumley does the paperwork. Who's your Chumley? Who's your Chumley? Somebody goes and does the paperwork. So the thing about it is document what you're not great at and hand it off. Hand it off to someone. And here, listen, the better you document it, the less you'll have to pay for that person. The better you document it, the less you'll have to pay for that. And I'm telling you right now, document that system so well, an 8th grader could do it. Document it so well that a 16-year-old person could do it. Make it that easy. And then have a 16-year-old person do it and test it. If they can't do it, is your system good enough? It's not. You want a great employee, you want a great assistant, hire the valedictorian or salutatorian of your high school class. Not your high school class. Mine's dead, so I can't do that. But I'm saying hire the valedictorian or salutatorian of the graduating class of 2026. Which reminds me that I have a reunion coming up that I can't believe that I have coming up. All right. Then do what you're great at, right? Document what you're not great at, discover what you were great at, and do more of it. And I'm saying this is a two-part quote. Document what you're not great at so that somebody else can do it, and then discover what you're great at and do it more. That's it. No, my entire graduating class, the valedictorian, unfortunately, has died in a car wreck. All right. As a business, not all people are worth the same. I'm gonna make this super easy. This changed my life. This one change in mindset changed my life. Not everyone in your sphere is of equal value. And I know that sounds so simple, but what do we try to do? We send everybody the chief schedule. We send everybody the royal schedule. We send everybody the calendar. We send everybody the market report. But ladies and gentlemen, the number one thing that you could do for 2026 to change your life is go through the people you know and pick out the very, very best and spend more time with them. Love on the best. Give your best the best. Give your best and forget the rest. Give your best the best and forget the rest. Give your best. Give your best, people, all of you, and give the rest none of you. What do we have to do to give your best the best, right, Sandy Creston? What do we got to do to give your best your best? We got to know who our best are. Today, tomorrow, this weekend, you're going to go through your phone and you're going to go through your contacts and write down the best people. You're going to just like, that person's awesome. That person's awesome. That person's awesome. And you're just going, and you're going to find a lot of not awesome people, and that's okay. It's okay. But when we understand that we have valuable resources, like time, energy, effort, money, that we should meet money, energy, effort, and time, meet, MEET, with the top of the top people, the best of the best people. You ain't got time for that. You ain't got time for the rest. You don't. You don't have time for it. You don't have money for it. You don't have the energy for it. You don't have the effort for it. If you want to exhaust yourself, why the hell are you exhausting for that stranger? If you're going to exhaust yourself for an ambassador. Like work your butt off for the ambassador. All right. All right. Make your on-camera video energy like you're entering to your walkout song. All right. So this is your homework assignment. I'm not gonna belabor this point, but you guys all need to know this. What is your walkout or walk up song? Like, what is your song? Like, my song is In the Name of Love by U2. I love it. In the Name of Love. Like that, like if you give Michael Maher an ounce of interest, he'll give you a ton of love. That's who I am. Period. So what is your walkout or walk up song? If you are going to go on stage, what song do you want playing to represent you? And I encourage you to come up with that song. Anybody know your song? Anybody know what your song is? The Power of Love. Love it. So I Am Woman, right, Joyce? Gonna Fly Now. There we go. Right. Little Rocky theme. I see Dennis Daniels, right, in his United States shorts, right? Superman top. Like, I see it. I see it. Eye of the Tiger. Dude, did Rocky do us all a favor? They just accumulated all the great songs. Where's Eye of the Tiger. Love it. All right. So you guys definitely have your favorites. Identify your walkout song and play it off and make sure it's in your favorites on your phone. Don't design a world you don't want to live in. I'll keep going. The height of your success will be determined by the depth of your character. You may want to write that one down. The height of your success will be determined by the depth of your character. If there's no shortcuts on the ladder of success, there are no shortcuts. The beautiful thing is that, it's easy to improve character, integrity, communication, honesty, do the right thing. What you don't change, you're choosing. What you don't change, you're choosing. So it's one of those where, hey, it's if you don't change it, you're choosing to accept it. You're choosing to tolerate it. And I would first challenge you to think of it as what would allow you to celebrate it versus tolerate it. Like, what is the thing that you would love to celebrate? Like, I'll give you an example, is my weight loss, right? What you don't change, you're choosing. I'm choosing to be fat if I don't change. Everybody good? I'm choosing to be overweight if I don't change. Well, I'm not choosing that. Now, so that comes into what you tolerate. Do you tolerate it or celebrate it? So I am no longer tolerating it. What am I going to celebrate? I'm going to celebrate going to work out every day. I'm going to celebrate eating right. I'm going to celebrate these things. And here's the thing is when you see me on stage next, I'm going to be more fit. My arms are going to be even bigger, people. I'm telling you, I'm about to bust out of this jersey right now, right there. Bang. You see that? This is a stretch fit, right? For a reason. I'm just telling you, I got guns. Now, you're going to see me in a better position, right? So we're going to celebrate that. We're going to celebrate that. So some of you are broke. So if you choose not to change it, you're choosing to choose it. You're choosing to be broke. If you're broke, you're choosing to be broke unless you change it. If you are sad, you're choosing to be sad unless you change it. If you're uber political right now, you are choosing to be uber political and unless you change it. If you are choosing, right, blank, then you are choosing. And the thing is, what are you most upset about? What are you most frustrated by? You've been choosing something. Now it's time to change it. So what is that change? Here's another thing. This comes from the coach in me. And that is holding someone accountable is something you do for another person. It's not something you do to them. You're doing it for them. I love you enough to hold you accountable. I love you enough to hold you accountable. It's not, it's not something you do to person. You're not doing it to them. You're doing it for them. And please understand that by holding them accountable, it's going to allow, and this is a big one if you're a three. If I asked earlier, if you're a one, two, three, and four, if you said a three, sometimes you don't hold someone accountable, like a kid or a spouse or a friend. You don't hold them accountable because you're afraid that it might cause conflict. Understand that when they said that they were going to be there and they weren't there, you need to hold them accountable. Like you need to just, hey, listen, I was counting on you. I was counting on you and it didn't happen. Don't let it happen again. Like I'm counting on you. Not having, oh, geez. All right. Back to systems, right? Not having your systems written down doesn't make you irreplaceable. It makes you unpromotable. And we don't want to be unpromotable. You think if I write this down, what might happen is like I can't be replaced. And you might even think that you can't be replaced. And truth is it doesn't make you irreplaceable. It makes you unpromotable. And you want to promote yourself out of every job you have. Promote yourself out of every job you have. How do you do that? You go back to the systems. Write a system and keep promoting yourself. Write a system, put somebody in place to run the system, and keep promoting yourself. Don't generalize, specialize. I've said a lot about this already. Don't generalize, specialize in your specialty. What is your specialty? People are like, well, you know what? It looks like I need to work with 55 plus. Well, they've been having success as a first-time home buyer, first-time home seller person, and they're 26 years old, and maybe that 55 plus area is not the best place for them to go. And generalize is doing everything for no one. Specializing is doing a few things for a few people. And guess what? In real estate lending, we can do really, really well working with a few people a month. You are the guide, not the hero. This is what I was talking about with the 7 steps to a successful success story. Is remember, we're the guide, not the hero. Don't try to be the hero. You are a human being who happens to sell real estate, not a realtor who happens to be a human being. We need to all realize that we are a human being first, and we need to be human. And what attracts people to us is a human. And notice it's not human doing, it's human being. We are a human being. Be first. Mindfulness. You cannot have an anxious thought and a thankful thought in the same moment. So understand, if you are feeling anxiety, if you are feeling stress, get into gratitude. Practice an appreciation. Like instead of thinking about whatever it is, think, man, I'm just so appreciative of. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm getting ready to go on stage in front of 2,000 people, it's standing room only, there's people sitting on the floor, there's a lot going on, I don't know what the questions are going to be. Instead, it's like, man, I am just really thankful for this opportunity. I am so appreciative that somebody thought enough of what I was going to say that they would be in this room. All right. So we have a 30-day challenge. It starts March 1st. That makes sense for a March Magic Challenge. It is $19 to do our 30-day challenge. You're also going to get a free month of Referral Mastery Academy, which includes 2 live masterminds with me and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. But bottom line, you can join the 30-day challenge, the March Magic Challenge at marchmagicchallenge.com. And for those of you that actually all of you, you can go to kwfrnotes.com or scan the QR code, kwfrnotes.com. We are accumulating all of the notes of all of the sessions, and we already have the notes for what I took already out there, but it's kwfrnotes.com, or you can scan the QR code. You can look at all the notes of all the different breakouts and sessions out there. That will be, there's 20 to 30 now, that'll go to hundreds by the end of the week. So it's going to be added to every day. And we're going to work on that through the month of March. And then we're going to give up at the end of March. We're just going to call it good at that point. But kwfrnotes.com or scan the QR code. That is from us. That is our gift to you. kwfrnotes.com. You can also see the PowerPoint that I just did out there if you want those slides and you want the PowerPoint. All right. So if you're already a part of the Academy, the challenge is included. Yes, you do have to opt in though, Gina. So, and I know a lot of you are RMA members, Referral Mastery Academy members. Just know that March Magic Challenge starts on the 1st. All right, questions. Or those of you that were at the reunion, family reunion, what were your ahas? What were your insights? This is the interactive part, the just ask Michael part, or comment and comment.
So Michael, I had gone to family reunion a bunch in the past. I haven't gone in probably 3 or 4 years. And it was the reason that I went was because of the Vault Mastermind. That was strictly it. And the bonus was being able to be a family reunion. But I don't think I would have gone if you weren't down there to get to meet you, which was awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Was it disappointing? Did you think I'd be taller?
I didn't even think about that, honestly.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Quit laughing. I can still hoop, bro. I can take you one-on-one, brother. Don't be laughing.
I don't doubt that at all.
Well, there's no way I could take Tim one-on-one.
I think I'd crush you in soccer, but basketball, I think you
would crush me in soccer.
Yes. Yeah. I thought the whole first day was perfect. The social media con, all of the speakers, Giselle Adarte, about how she was just so honest about her struggles and how she was open about those, and how she just says, find your voice. And then Gary, yes, very in your face. But I'm one of those people, Michael, that he was speaking directly to, where I don't like social media. I think it is a poison. But he goes, do you think you can use it to go sell a house or two? Or do you think you can use it to amplify your voice? And he's right. Mm-hmm. And then right after that was
Steve, guy. You want to hear something funny? Bill. I didn't even know you liked soccer. I didn't know you were good at soccer.
Here, I actually coach.
Share it. Yeah, you coach soccer. So I just think of the different videos you could do around soccer.
I know.
Here FIFA was in town. Don't we have another big soccer competition going on?
World Cup in June.
Yeah. Like the World Cup. That's a pretty big deal, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not playing in it.
Oh, no?
No. But I thought even just the way that whole day was organized was outstanding. The last day,
that's new, right?
That was totally new. Yeah.
So social media you have to give kudos to Gary. Gary was very uncomfortable. That is an add-on that was actually came from a conversation with a KW agent who was kind of looking at doing a group community. But the bottom line is the guy said, hey, I'll put it together. Like you just fund it and you give me you tell me how long I have and I'll put it together. I have to tell you, it was the best organized part of family reunion, in my opinion. I mean, it even ended almost right on time.
It did.
So it was very well organized and very well constructed. And you got to realize Gary V spoke for like he was supposed to speak for 20 minutes. He went for 33 or something like that. So, they could have been off anyway.
And then I'll just say Donald Miller, his story brand with the 7 story, like, I mean, I have it right here. I'm reading it right now.
Yeah.
But that with the successful stories, I mean, Tommy and I are going to talk about that tomorrow, no doubt, on the call. But that's something that I have a lot of these stories, but it was just really helpful to hear Donald.
Yeah.
And it was just a reinforcement of all you say. And finally, the last day, a lot of times people leave early, but it was packed. It was like 14,000 people listening to Jay Shetty. And
Yeah.
I really loved everything that he had to say.
Amen.
And I always
Amen.
thought he was cheesy too, Michael. He's
Yeah.
been invading my feed for years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a little bit wonky here. But man,
Yeah.
that was good stuff.
Yeah. I love the part where he didn't talk about the disc, but how he just validated the magic question to me. Like I love the magic question. I love it like at a 7 or 8. I love it as a 10 now. Like I'm going to be so like I haven't taught it all that much. And I'm going to be so much more forward with I'm going to be forward with the magic question and the 7 steps to a successful success story a lot more. A lot more. I'm just
Well, one
going to
question about the magic question is oftentimes with buyers, they're being done on Zoom. And so I, if I'm meeting them for the first time on Zoom, how do you ask that question with both of them right there? Like, how would
I
your,
just did it.
you just do it with them?
Yeah, I just did
Uh,
it. Like yeah, I literally like you can even have it right here if you don't want to memorize it. You can have it right here. Say, hey, do you mind if I ask both of you just kind of like a little bit of a weird question, but it'll help me serve you better.
Okay,
Right?
so you just ask it right in front of
Yeah.
us. Like, how would your
Yep.
spouse describe
Yeah.
you?
I would
Okay.
do it after. How do I make this Zoom or how do I make this meeting the biggest win for you? And listen to each of them. Make sure you get an answer from each of them. And then they tell you how the meeting would be a win. You could even go to the second question, which would be, how do I make this move the biggest win for you? And then they tell you, and then you go, all right, I've started asking you questions here. Let me ask you a little bit of a weird question, right? And then out of the following 4 options, how would your spouse, significant other, or best friend best describe you? 1, straight to the point. 2, social and outgoing. 3, steady and dependable. Or 4, cautious and perfectly accurate. And just have them name their number, right? And then have them name their number 2, and then have them name their weakest or lowest or the one that's not them at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then speak to it, right? And then I mean, when you get really good at this, they tell you like he's a 1 and she's a 3. You're going, hey, listen, I just want you to know that we're all set up to make this happen without wasting any of your time. We're going to make this happen with the most efficient way. We have a system for everything so that things go smoothly and quickly. And I just want you to let you know that that's how we're going. And I want you to know that, hey, listen, everything that we do has to do with your family, has to do with safety, has to do with security. We're going to take care of this. We're going to make sure that we take care of your family. In fact, like as we go through this, we're all going to be kind of like we're part of the same family, and we're going to make sure that this is a win for everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So I just talk to the 1, talk to the 3, and then go from there.
Okay. The last thing I'll say is it was just cool being a part of the community face to face. Zoom's important, but the face to face was awesome, and being there with a bunch of people in the
That you
community
see
that I
on
see
Zoom.
all the time. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right,
Well, it was
I'm
great
done.
to see you in person, Steve, and I'm glad you made the trip. I hope you're glad to make the trip, and
Yeah.
it was great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Others.
Share something
Yes, absolutely. Barb Cullen.
from Boston.
Hi, Barb from
Um,
Boston.
Hi, I really love Donald Miller's content, and I liked how he said reduce the cognitive load, to give them a 3-step plan and make it simple. And he said the brain likes 3 steps. So 1, we're going to do an intake. 2, we'll do a search. 3, we'll work with a lender. And finding your home is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Here's how I work with people. 1, 2, 3. An hour after that session, I had an intake call with a prospect, and I said, I'll give you a 3-step plan. And it just came out, and I loved that. It was like, oh my gosh, this is going to make it so easy. And they loved it. They said, that sounds great. You're going to make it so easy. So that was good. And then I loved his story about the watch that he told himself once he made it to a certain level, he was going to buy himself a watch. We went into a store while he was on vacation and he said, I really like it. And he gave a story of how the store clerk said, but he said, but I'm going to think about it. And the store clerk said, well, do you like the watch? Do you have the money to buy the watch? Do you have a good reason to buy it? And, it sounds like you've accomplished what you wanted to do, and this watch is the right watch for you. And he said, the guy talked me into doing something I already wanted to do. He didn't manipulate me. He talked me into the decision I wanted. And the key quote there was, he gave him permission.
Mhm.
And I've seen this with buyers, especially with single moms who don't have anyone else in the decision-making role to help them. They get really scared of making the wrong decision. So all of my like post-divorce or single mom people who are making a financial decision, I feel like they really depend on me to give them permission and tell them, I think this is a great house. If this were me, it checks off all the boxes you've shared. I could see myself living here. And I only say that from authenticity. If I don't believe that, I tell them that as well. So I love that, I don't know, just giving them permission. And then he made the statement that they are going to borrow our confidence to help them make that decision.
Mhm.
So I like that.
Yeah. Borrowed confidence is a powerful thing. I tell the story sometimes of, I have this epic photo of me on K-Rock, which is Bolton in Norway. It is a boulder that is about this big, that is suspended between two cliffs, 2,500 feet in the air. And the very stupid and somewhat brave people will get on it and take a picture. So you guys have seen the picture of me on this boulder. And what was interesting is that like half my group did not get on the boulder because they're a lot smarter than I should have never done it. Honestly, I had a kid at the time. It was pretty stupid, pretty scary, stupid thing. You have to sign a death waiver before you go on it. Well, before I could outthink myself, there was a guy from Brazil. I couldn't speak his language. He couldn't speak my language, but he literally was walking off the cliff onto the boulder, like little jump. He was standing on the boulder, dancing on the boulder, circling on the boulder. Then he walked and jumped onto the other cliff, and then he jumped onto the boulder, super confident. He was basically like a Rocky Mountain goat on this boulder. And so I went up to him and I said, will you help me on the boulder? And so I borrowed his confidence, got on the boulder, stood there with my legs absolutely shaking, did not look down, looked up, and I said, take the freaking picture. He took the picture, and then I jumped off, grabbed a chain that is like the death chain, like if you don't catch the chain, you're basically dead. You can jump off if you're really stupid or smart or great. I'm not, but I grabbed the chain, dragged myself up, and got onto the cliff. But I borrowed his confidence and I think that's training in a lot of ways. Is when you take like an event mastery, one of the powers is I'm there, Tommy's there, Nicole's there. We're there to borrow our confidence. We're confident this event's going to be a success. So borrow our confidence until it happens, right? I love that. Yeah, Kristen Torrance.
Hi. So my takeaway
Or
was more on
Taronis.
the
Is it Taronis?
Taronas.
Taronas. Okay.
Coronas. So mine was more on a macro level, my big takeaway. It seemed like I needed, not that I needed, but it's good to have that reminder of that the client in your community needs to be at the center of everything. We get stuck in this thing of trying to sell ourselves so many times, and this is what I can do for you. When if you listen to Phil Jones, it's about asking the right questions to find their motivation and asking the right questions to get them to come to their own realization of what the right move is. With Donald Miller, it was about not, being the guide, not the hero. I went to an events class and it was about doing amazing events, which give back in a really impactful way to our community. And if you do that and remember that, the short form, doing short form video, remember, it's not all about you in that moment. It's about answering the questions that are most important to the clients in our community. And I think if that's the first thing that you do every time you make a move, you're good to go.
So coming away from family reunion, you had all these notes. What was the first thing that you did, Kristen? What was the first thing that you, and I love the story from Barb. She literally took the 3-step process and like used it on a call just to see how it went. It went swimming. I'm really glad it went well for her.
Mm-hmm.
But like Kristen, what was that thing for you that just like, I'm going to do that. I got it. I'm going to get it done before I life hits me square in the face.
Mm-hmm. So I have a short list in my phone, but the very first thing that I actually did was creating um there's actually, if you read this, there's an AI tool in here that you can start working on and developing a storyboard and focusing on being the guide. So that's something that I'm currently working through right now. I mean, I just got back last night, so uh
Yeah, you
and
can hear it in my
then
voice too. I probably should have
yeah.
taken today off. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm still working on this. I'm trying to find, oh, here we go, implementation. Um, Start creating my short form video using this book, right? Creating that story with me being the guide. So those were the things I have a list of 8 things, but that's the most important one.
Love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Thank you, Kristen. I appreciate that. Kristen brings up a really good point, and we talked earlier about the 7 steps to a successful success story and success stories. Would it be if you're an RMA? This is an opportunity for me to talk to you. Would it be helpful if we did a mastermind around the 7 steps to a successful success story, and we actually created some in the session where we're the guide on the side, not the sage on stage, where we're the guide, the client's the hero, and we have this tool that we can use in a video, or we can use on Facebook, or we can use on a postcard, or we can use in our e-newsletter. Would it be helpful if we focused our RMA only mastermind just on success stories this month? We could do that in March. All right. So, Mandy, Sherry, would you guys just note that all we're going to do, all we're going to do during the RMA mastermind is we're going to actually create success stories. Here's the cool thing about co-creating them. Everybody listen to this. If we co-create them, you can actually share stories with each other, and then it'll trigger you to tweak somebody else's. So you've probably had a downsizer who you worked with. Well, if there's one already kind of written, it's already kind of written. You've just got to enter your names or first name. By the way, first names only in your success stories. Everybody needs to kind of like first names only in the success story, that kind of. If you want to change the names, you can always put an asterisk and say change the names for privacy's sake. So, all right, Jesse Gomez.
I forgot what I was going to say because you took me out of
You said
started
something
thinking about your success.
implementation.
Well, that was because you were talking about the success stories. So I love that it would be, because that's one thing about this with the sessions that we're doing is that it's always about we listen, and then after that call you got to go implement. And I think that's for me. I know Tommy was talking about it on that. These are something that he uses and it's very effective and it works in different ways. So that you would put a class like that, well, I would definitely jump on and put that to implementation, which that's kind of what I do with some of these things. Like when we host the classes with the money mastery, there was implementation on that. The 7 Now reading, there was implementation on that, and that's just how I operate. The one thing that I'm dealing with here, I don't know what you were talking about earlier in regards to taking some time off and going somewhere. And I haven't done that. And I just haven't done it because I'm so busy with work. I am busy with real estate. I'm busy with family. But I haven't taken the time to go somewhere to really regroup like what you're talking about. I'm grateful for I know a lot of people are struggling right now, and I'm grateful that we are not. My team is not. So we got a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of good things coming up. We just got invited to a Filipino event festival, and and we have a strategy for that. We're already talking about how to approach that. They were actually a sponsor to our event, Sunday Fun Day, so they were sponsors. So, but so definitely we want to reciprocate the love. on that. So that is just something that this is always consistently just going. But I think right now I'm like, oh, I'm a little like I guess I'm a little because I haven't done the taking time for myself. I haven't just gone away and regroup, or I haven't done that, and it's been a while. And then, I mean, I went on vacation in September, but it wasn't, that was different. I don't know if you have any.
Yeah, I think they're like, we need to remember there's kind of these three phases, and there's working in your business, there's working on your business, and there's out of your business, right? So it's in, on, or out. And we need equal amounts of time between those. Here's what, I coach a lot of top producers in RMA, and it is interesting how often that they will get 2 or 3 or 5 sales a week, but feel like they accomplished nothing. We feel like we accomplish more when we take time to work on our business as well as work in our business. So, do you have time every week blocked off in a 2 or 3 hour segment to work on your business? Like putting a system together, putting a buyer's guide, relocation guide, seller's guide, putting a pre-listing packet, putting a system that helps you do, revisit your transaction management system, putting your database together, putting your sphere together, working on events, whatever it may be. So yeah, having a fire session, 100%. And that's what a majority of our RMA members are doing, is they're scheduling a fire session either every week or every other week to work on their business so that they feel like they get something done. It's amazing. You can help 3 or 4 buyers and a couple of sellers in a week, and you're busy, and then at the end of the week you're like, man, did I even accomplish anything? And it's like you could help 3 or 4 people total, and then have 3 hours where you put together your pre-listing packet and you feel like a winner. I got the pre-listing packet done. Now I can do something with it. Good stuff all the way around. I hope this was insightful. I hope this was helpful. I appreciate you being here for our jam session. A lot of you have signed up for the March Magic Challenge. You're going to find that fun. You're going to find it interesting. The nice thing is you may get referrals from it. You're likely to get referrals from it. But what's cool is you're not just doing it for the referrals. You're doing it for who you become by doing the 30-day challenge. And that's what I love about this 30-day challenge. It starts March 1st. You also get a free entry into Referral Mastery Academy for the month of March, so you can try it out and kind of take it for a test drive. And then it's up to us to keep you, to retain you. So it is somewhat similar to Summerfest, but it is definitely geared for the spring. It's also geared for a little bit more inside stuff. So network summer stuff. The Summerfest is a lot of outdoor activities. So. Good stuff. All right. You guys rock. I love you. I appreciate you. Some of you I haven't seen you in a while, and it was great to see your faces on here. And hopefully we'll see you on the next one. See you, everybody. Have a great one.